Hello. It's been some time. What have I been up to? I think the last time we had a video made was August, right, of last year. I had a lot of things happen, and I'm now just starting to get back to the point where I want to place an emphasis on content creation again. As I get back into creating these videos, hopefully I can unpack and kind of do like a blast from the past type of deal where we bring back kind of all the stuff that I was recording but then didn't have the chance to kind of keep up chronologically and upload them for everyone to view. It's great to be back. I hope everyone that's been keeping up with my poker journey outside of YouTube, on my Instagram, would be happy that I am making content again. But yeah, I would love to continue not just making poker vlogs of like running down hand histories and stuff like that, but just really more of a document of my life. But we don't really want to, we'll get to that, right? We'll get to everything that's happened and why I stopped making videos. But what's important is we're back. We're here now. And for this video, I wanted to do something a little simpler, right? Nothing too crazy, nothing too high stakes. We'll be playing at my home casino in Chandler, Arizona. There is a 1-2, 300 max, no limit hold'em game. And we're just gonna see what happens, We're not gonna play very seriously, we're just gonna have a good time. Hopefully a lot of bluffing, a lot of action will ensue. Typically when I do play at 1-2, I do drive a lot of action. So with that being said, let's roll the B-roll. The first hand, I have Queen Jack offsuit in the big blind. The cutoff erases to $12 and it folds around to me, and I decide to defend. So we go heads up to a flop that's jack high, jack 6-7. I check, and the cutoff continues to bet out $12. I briefly consider going for a re-raise here just because I want to take away the betting lead for him, which is like super important in these stakes, right? Because these guys will just barrel off with nothing and they'll make a weird 2-pair on the river, and that's how you end up losing all your money. But I had just sat down, I was getting accustomed checking out the table dynamics, so I make my first mistake right off the bat here and I end up flat calling. The turn is a 7 of spade, and I check it over again and cutoff bets again for $20. I end up calling, and the river is an ace of diamond. And that's no good because I'm putting him a lot on ace-x holdings that he ends up barreling on the turn as well. But I check, and he quickly checks back, and he shows 9-7 of hearts. So again, if I was to check raise him on the flop, which I would normally do 100% of the time here, taking away the betting lead and maybe even taking it down on the flop, I'm not sure what it would have ended up happening had he called. But yeah, so again, people will do stuff like this here. But it's all good. In this hand, I have pocket fives in the small blind. The hijack limp calls, and the button ends up raising to $10. I'm going to min-click him to $20 in the small blind with my pocket fives, and the big blind calls. It folds around to the button, who isn't going anywhere. He ends up calling the $20 as well. So we go 3 ways to a flop of 5, 9, king, 2 diamonds, and 1 club. I make bottom set here, but I am not in the mood to slow play, so I lead out for $25.
The big blind folds and the button jams all in for 37 total. I am going to snap them off here, and we go all in. With the turn is a 10 of spade, and the river is a king of clubs. So we fill up, and the villain turns over king, queen offsuit. It's no good. I'm going to end up stacking my first victim here, and we're moving straight on. The next hand, I have king 10 of spade, and I end up opening in the hijack position to $12. It folds around to small blind, who calls the 12. Big blind folds, so we go heads up to a flop of 10 king 7 2 spade. So I make second pair with flush draw. Small blind checks, and I'm going to be sneaky here and check it back. The turn is the ace of spade, so we make the nuts, and small blind decides to lead out for $20. I got you right where I want you. I'm going to flat call the $20 and see whatever comes out on the river. The river is a blank, an 8 of diamond. Our nuts are still nutty here. The small blind bets $30, and I put them all in for about 70 more.
I'm all in. I have the nuts.
He snap calls, and I show him the bad news, and he mocks.
Is it the nuts? It's the nuts.
Mr. 9-7, thank you for keeping my money warm. I'll be having him back now. Oh yeah, second victim has been claimed. Here at Lone Butte Casino, we believe in family. And that's why, in this hand, everyone's going to end up limping for $2. So I'm not going to ruin the family atmosphere. I'm going to call, in the small blind, for $2. So we go 7 ways to a flop of 5-3 deuce, 2 hearts, and a diamond. So I flop the nuts, and all of a sudden, I'm not thinking so much about family anymore. I'm thinking about money. So I end up checking, and the big blind leads out for $10. It folds around to the hijack, who calls the 10, and the cutoff also calls the 10. I'm going to price all these flush draws out here, and I make it 45. The big blind calls $45, and hijack goes all in for less at about $36 total. So we start a little side pot here. The turn's a 7 of club. I'm going to make it $65 because I'm putting everybody on a flush draw, and I find it very, very unlikely that 6-4 is there. But if he has 6-4, he can have all my money. But alas, he does not. Big blind ends up folding, so I wake a little bit on the side pot. And the river is a 10 of club. And so I show my nuts, and hijack folds. So I think I was good the whole way. I end up stacking Mr. 9-7 again. I'm not a very vengeful person, but, you know, the hand played itself, right? In this hand, I have 9-8 of spade, and suited connectors are one of my favorite cards and hands to play super, super aggressively. So I'm going to open here in the low jack for $8. The cutoff ends up calling, and the button calls as well. And the button is a new person that sat down, and he plays really, really weird, so I was very excited to get in a hand with him. So we go 3 ways to a flop of 4, 7, 10. I'm open-ended here, so I'm going to continue barreling. I bet $20. And at this point, I've been showing a lot of bluffs. I've been showing everyone how full of shit I am, and no one believes me of anything I do at this point, so cutoff and button both snap call. The turn is a 10 of club. I am going to bet $65. The cutoff gets out of the way, and button tanks forever. Like, we're talking like at least 3 minutes, which in poker time is like an hour or so. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, there's no way in hell I'm good here, right? Because who tanks that long before making a decision? But he ends up calling, and the river is an 8 of diamonds. So I end up making a pair, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I can beat a 4, I can beat a 7, so why don't we go into check call mode? So I check, and he checks and shows me pocket 3s. And he was telling me about like the whole way he knew I didn't have anything. And then he goes on a tirade about, oh, dealer, you fucked me. How could you put a pair out there on the river for him? But my guy, it's your fault for calling with pocket threes. Oh man, 1-2. You gotta love it. So my chip stack is becoming very beautiful, very big, and my hand under the gun, ace queen offsuit, also looks very beautiful. I open for $12, and the action folds to the small blind who calls $12. Now, small blind is a quote-unquote big action player who's been playing poker since the 70s, before they even had no limit hold'em. So he tells me that he is not afraid of my raised sizes. And big blind, I don't know who it is, I forgot, but he ends up calling the $12 as well. So we go 3 ways to a flop of queen jack 6, 2 hearts, and 1 spade. Small blind checks, the big blind checks, and I'm gonna bet $20. The small blind snap calls 20, and big blind folds. The turn is a really good card for me. It's the queen of club. Again, the small blind checks, and I'm going to bet $40. Small blind is undeterred as he calls my raise, and the river is an 8 of spade. So I'm thinking to myself now, I'm going to destroy all of the lesser queens, or I'm just value owning myself against any pocket jack or pocket 6. But if that's the case, he can have all my money. I'm going to go for a big value here. I make it $85. And small blind thinks about it for a little bit and ends up calling. I show him my ace queen and he mucks.
Check. You saying that 5 hit you? He's calling full already.
I have a good hand.
I believe you.
Put a 6 on the river. Just paint it. Oh, wait, shit. You paint a 6, I will give you the pot.
You better win. I check. I was straight. I was straight.
7-4.
Oh my goodness.
Playing 1-2 with 1 bullet to see how much I can make.
How much you make so far?
I'm like quadded up.
Really? That's what you drink
Oh my god.
before you play poker.
Chrysanthemum tea drink?
Chrysanthemums. You know
Chrysanthemum.
what's that mean in Chinese?
No.
A-hole.
Really? Oh, because it looks like a butthole?
Yeah. Butthole tea.
Well, that's a nice thought. Like, I expect it to taste, because they have a banana milk version of this drink. Let's talk about relative hand strength, right? If a board's double paired and you have pocket aces and you bet on the river and a guy moves all in for, I don't know, $400, right? Do you call there or do you fold? If you ask a lot of 1-2 players here, their answer is, how can I ever fold? Pocket aces here. And that's how you lose a lot of money. So in this hand, I'm going to have Jack 7 of diamond in the small blind. Under the gun, cutoff, button, they all limp call. I'm going to raise it a tiny smidgen to $12. I should be raising more, but this is why I only raise a little bit. The big blind calls $12. Under the gun calls $12. The cutoff folds, but the button calls $12. The cutoff must be in a nitty mood because normally everyone ends up calling. So regardless of the raise size, right? If I make it $50 pre-flop to squeeze my hand, it doesn't matter because here at Lone Butte, we believe in family. And family means that nobody's left behind. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 ways to a flop of King Jack 5, 2 diamonds and a spade. I hit second pair and I have a flush draw. I check, the big blind checks, and the button checks. The turn is a queen of spade. I'm going to bet $20, and the big blind snap raises to 100. And under the gun calls the 100. The button folds, and I'm thinking to myself, I have a pair and a flush draw. I'm Asian, so I have to call. 3 ways to a river, that's 7 of club. Now, I make 2 pair here, but keep in mind relative hand strength. I check, and the big blind snap jams all in. He's got a big stack, maybe $600, all in. The under the gun folds, and I snap fold my hand. Why did I snap fold, even though I have 2 pair? No one in 1-2 is ever committing their entire stack to a bluff. There's no value bet there. Some way, somehow, my man either flopped the nuts by slow playing kings or whatever, or he has some weird backdoor shit and it just got there. There's just, in these spots where someone just jams all in, unless you have the nuts, just fold. You're not going to hero call anything. You're going to just get destroyed. I bet you he had ace 10 or whatever. Snap fold. I don't think about it. There's no lesson to be learned here. There's no line to rethink. Next hand, it's over. Here we have under the gun, limping for $2, and the hijack opens to 12. It's going to fold around to me in the small blind, and I have king 5 of spade. I'm going to min click him to about $25. The big blind folds, the under the gun folds, and hijack calls 25. Again, I could go for a bigger sizing here, but the goal is to go heads up with whoever was the pre-flop aggressor. I don't want under the gun to limp and end up making a set with deuces or threes. So min-clicking in these stakes kind of has a useful effectiveness. Regardless, I get what I want. We go heads up to a flop of king, queen, 10. I'm going to continue betting here for $20, and hijack calls. The turn is a 6 of heart, and I'm going to go for some value here, make it $55, and hijack calls the 55. So immediately, my value bet doesn't seem as value betty, so I'm going to check on the river. When the river comes a 7 of heart, I'm going to check, and the hijack checks and shows pocket jacks. That's very disrespectful. But I guess that works out because I win. I win the money. I hate commentating. Why do I hate narrating, you say? Well, for example, my friend Pokerface Ash has her own vlog, a lot more famous than my humble little vlog that I have here. But when she explains her actions and her hand histories, it's super sophisticated, super well studied. There's a reason for all the things that she does. I just don't like sounding like I have an explanation for my fishiness. Sometimes I just do things because fuck you, that's why. And that doesn't really make for a very good vlog. That's why I'm frustrated when I say I hate vlogging. I mean, I like the vlogging aspect of the vlogging, but I don't like, sounding like I know what I'm doing. Because I don't know what I'm doing. In this hand, for example, right? Under the gun limps for $2. Under the gun plus 2 limps for $2. I'm going to raise. I'm going to raise regardless of whatever garbage hand I have. What do I have here? I have 7-5 offsuit. Yeah, I'm going to raise 7-5 offsuit for $17. The button calls, big blind calls, and under the gun plus 2 folds. I never understand why you would limp to put money in the pot just to fold when someone else re-raises. But regardless, right? The button and the big blind, 3 ways to a flop, 10-5 deuce. The big blind checks, I check, and the button checks. The turn is a 7 of spade. And the big blind bets $20, which is great for me, right? Because I just drilled random 2 pair. I'm going to call, and the big blind folds. The river is a jack of heart, and the big blind checks, and I'm going to bet $75. He ends up snap calling, and it's no good. My random 2 pair gets there. I don't know what what he was trying to go for, but again, like, why did I raise with 7-5 offsuit? I don't know. I was just in the mood to be in a pot, and I'm never going to be entering a hand with garbage without some sneaky aggression mixed in. So it worked out well for us, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. Results oriented. We scoop another pot. Next hand. I have ace king offsuit here on under the gun +2. And when under the gun limps, I decide to raise to $30. I don't know why I made it $30, but I guess I was in an aggressive mood. And it folds to the cutoff, who jams all in for $70. Oh, I know why I raised. Because under the gun is my friend Isaiah, and I wanted to bully Isaiah. But it doesn't matter because cutoff goes all in for about 70, and it folds to me, so I end up calling. And she says she has pocket 9s, so it's a flip. I drill 2 pair on the flop, so I'm real good. Turns a 7, and the river is a 9. Oh, so she rivers her set. That is why poker is brutal, but it's also why we love poker. It's all good. At least it wasn't for like $300, because I'm definitely calling that. Nice hand, nice hand. In this hand, the cutoff opens for $10, and I'm in the big blind with queen 6 of club. I'm going to defend my big blind here and call for a heads-up pot. We go to a flop of 9 queen deuce. So I drill top pair with a kicker. So I'm going to check. The cutoff bets $20, and I call. The turn is a 4 of diamond. So I check, and the cutoff bet's relatively big for about $40. I'm going to go into bluff catching mode, and as long as an ace or a king doesn't come out on the river, I'm calling anything he puts out there. So I call, and the river is a 7 of diamond. The cutoff bet's $60, and I snap call. He turns over king 10 offsuit for a gut shot that did not get there, and we scoop with our medium kicker queen. Oh, the last hand of the video. We got ace king offsuit in the small blind. Keep in mind, I got the ace of club here for the nut flush blocker. The cutoff limp calls $2, and Isaiah opens up in the button to 15. I'm going to re-raise him to 45, and Lee ends up cold calling in the big blind. Isaiah in the button calls 45, so 3 ways of a friendship flop of 4, 6, 3, 2 club. I check, the big blind checks, and the button checks. The turn is a 9 of spade. I bet $50, and Lee calls in the big blind for $50. Isaiah folds. The river is a 9 of club, and I have nothing here, but I got a blocker, so the solvers say I need to put them all in. I don't actually know if the solver approves this play or not, but I put Lee all in, and I show him the ace of club. It's over, baby. It's over. I got it.
Show the other one.
No.
Show the other one. Gosh, I had the winner.
You did?
Sure I did.
What'd you have?
I didn't ace also. If you didn't call a turn, I was calling.
And it's enough to convince him that I got a flush, so he ends up folding. We bullshit our way to a Profitville of about $1,000 even for the session. Roll the B-roll, please. No more narration.
Where he's at, right?
Alrighty, boys, I'm out of here. See you guys.
That was pretty fun. We bought in for 1 bullet, luckily, and we cashed out $1,300 with a net result of $1,000. So I'm glad Lee and Isaiah came towards the later end of my session. Had a blast. I don't know. I don't really have like an outro segment here. I just made this video because I wanted to vlog again. My friend Ashley has this thing where she's like, it's only up from here. And I'm like, for me, it's like, no, it's kind of like up and down. I guess I gotta talk about like call to action. Like and subscribe and join my social media right here. My editor will take care of all that. My editor is me. Well, I am one of 3, but hopefully it will be them and not me. But if it is me, I'll be the one putting all this here. Thanks for watching. Glad to be back. Thank you for sticking around. And I'll see you on the next one.